Welcome to the Overcoming Medical Hair Loss Summit. My name is Valerie Fuentes. I'm your host, and today I am with Jessica Newman. You can find her on Instagram at Never Too Bold. And I love her account. It's one of the newest accounts that I've seen, maybe like this year, right? She just started her account at the beginning of quarantine. And it's one of those accounts that, I was just drawn into, and I'm loving what you're sharing. So if you haven't started following Jessica, you got to do that right now. So Jessica, for those of you who don't know you, tell us a little bit about you.
So I started getting alopecia when I was about 14, nearly 15. And I firstly lost all of my eyebrows, and I then went to a private doctor's and a dermatologist to see if they could sort of find out what it was, because they didn't know it was alopecia to begin with. And then over like the next year, the year and a half, all of my hair started to fall out. It started to like recede backwards, and then I started to get bald patches. And then towards the end, just before I was 17, I decided to shave all of my hair off and start wearing wigs, because it was getting a bit hard to cover up the bald patches and things. So I just decided to completely shave it off. And then about a year later, maybe a year and a half, I lost all of my eyelashes, and then it developed into Alopecia Universalis. So at the beginning it was Alopecia Areata, and now I've got Alopecia Universalis.
How was that, and losing your lashes? Because I've heard that that's probably the hardest part of losing your hair.
I think especially now, I'm used to not having any hair, and I'm used to wearing wigs and stuff, but I don't really like to put false eyelashes on all the time. I don't really feel like comfortable and things wearing them. So for me, if I could wish to have anything back, it would be my lashes 100% all the time. But I have recently, since coming on Instagram, like so many girls look amazing in false lashes. So I have been trying to put them on, and I put them on for special occasions if I'm going out with the girls and stuff, and if I get my makeup done. But like day to day, I just sort of look like this. I don't really put any false eyelashes on or anything like that.
Wow. So you said you started losing your hair at like 14, and now you're 25. So like in the last 10 years, like how have you managed everything? Like the emotional piece? I know you're wearing hair now sometimes, but as far as like your emotional side of things, like how are you managing that?
I think at the beginning I really struggled, but I'm one of them people that would like prefer to laugh at something than cry at it. So I'd always like make a joke of it, and if anyone brought it up, I'd always try and like lighten it up a little bit. And I think then because I was always doing that, people thought I was fine with it. So like every now and then I'd have like a total mental breakdown in front of my mum and be like, I'm not okay with it. I struggle loads, but I'd just rather like, it's better for people to make a joke with you about it than to make a joke behind your back about it. So at least if you can be like laughy and like with people aren't going to go behind your back and make jokes about you. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really struggled at the beginning, and I think shaving my hair off was quite hard. And obviously my eyelashes, but I think I've come quite far in 10 years. Like now, I sometimes leave the house bald, and I've started sharing my story, obviously. So yeah, it feels nice to be able to be like this, but sometimes it does get a little bit much. But most of the time, I'd say like 80% of the time I'm okay now. So whereas at the beginning, I'd say like 80% of the time I wasn't okay. So it does take time to get used to it. But yeah, once you can look past it and get like a little bit of confidence and just not really care what other people think,
Mm-hmm.
I think you just feel better about yourself anyway, just for feeling like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think also like the age that you were dealing with it was probably really difficult, right? Because
Yeah.
I think like my worst hair loss started, or no, so like I was diagnosed at 24, but I started losing my hair like 18. But it got really bad in my 20s, and I was already in college.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine, like you were in high school when you were going through all of this, right? Kinda?
Yeah, I think I was in like year 11 when my eyebrows started to fall out. So yeah, I think I might have been even 15 probably. And I just sort of lost one eyebrow, then another eyebrow, and then I think it was my first year in college that I decided to shave my hair off. because the doctor said that it was more traumatic seeing my hair fall out and having to cover it up. Like I was wearing extensions, and in the winter I was wearing like big fluffy things over my head and stuff. And he said it would probably be better for me if I was to just shave it off and start wearing wigs. So it was a bit, I wore a beanie for like 6 months. Even when it wasn't winter, I was still wearing beanies because I was so paranoid my wig was going to fall off. And I thought like everybody was looking at me. I was like, everybody knows. Like I just didn't feel great at all. And I started with synthetic, which I think makes a difference because real hair is so expensive. But for me, I feel so much more confident in real hair, and I like being able to like curl it and style it. Whereas to begin with, we were just trying out synthetic wigs, and I just didn't feel comfortable in them at all. I felt like they looked like really fake, and because you can get some really good ones, but 10 years ago wigs weren't as good as they are now. So I think everything's come really, really far for alopecia within the last 10 years.
So true. And I'm laughing because you just reminded me of, because you said you liked to style your wigs. The first synthetic piece that I wore human hair forever and I didn't know any different. And then I got a synthetic one, and I honestly didn't cross my mind to think that heat was going to damage it.
Yeah.
And I legit just went like, usually like, oh my God. And then the thing started to oh my God. It was so scary.
You can get special HD ones, but they're obviously more expensive, and I think it's just worth it to save that couple more hundred. I know it's so much, but it just I just feel so much more confident in real hair wigs than synthetic. So for me, I'd rather just save up as much as I can and get like a really nice one.
I agree. So what's your day-to-day now? Like, are you wearing hair like every day? Are you more comfortable just being bald?
Because obviously of lockdown and stuff, and I'm working from home, I don't wear like my wig at home. And with my close friends, like my best friends and my boyfriend, I don't wear my wig around them. And if I'm like driving to the post office or something and I feel all right, then I'll go bald. I went to the beach the other day bald, and that was quite scary because it's like 30 degrees here at the minute. We're having like a mini heat wave. So, and I live on an island where there's like a beach, obviously. And there was loads of people there, and I knew it was hot, but I didn't expect it to be as busy as it was. So I got there and I was a bit like, but yeah, I keep trying to do like mini trips to places with no hair. But if I was to go back to the office, I'd wear hair. And if I'm like to go on a night out, I'd wear hair. But I'm just trying to gradually like put little trips in there where I'm going to be bald. So I can get used to it,
Yeah, I think right now it's a really good time for everybody to try whatever, new thing we get to try. Like if you're not wearing hair yet and you're thinking about it, then you can get it and try it at home. And then by the time you go to the office and you're already feeling comfortable. I honestly think this quarantine, like for our community, it's perfect to try other things. Same thing like going bald. Like all the ladies that I talked to that already have buzz cut or like they don't have any hair anymore, they told me that it's hard, but like what they do is like they will go to the park and then take their hat off and then, like leave it off for like an hour or so. And then like when they start feeling weird, they put it back. And then like that, you start training your mind of like, it's okay. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it goes both ways. And especially if you haven't worn hair before, I think it takes time to get used to your piece. Like whatever it is, even if it's a topper or a wig, it takes time to get used to it. Right? Because like, for me at least, like every time I have something new, because I'm not used to it, then I'm just touching it all day.
Yeah, 100%. And I always think with like, because I get Trendco wigs, diamond quite a lot, but actually I've had them for like 10 years, I get them all the time. And I always think that when you first get your wig, it looks wiggy. For like the first month, I think it looks wiggy to everybody. People say it doesn't, but I know they're just trying to be nice. Like it does look wiggy. And then you have like 6 months of it looking its best like ever. And it's because to begin with, it's too soft to almost style. So you have to get a bit of like, almost like dirt in it, So like, like pre-washed hair for normal hairy people, they obviously can't style it sometimes because it's too soft. I find that with wigs. And then after like your 6 months of it being really good, you start to get split ends and stuff and have to start getting it cut again. So for them 6 months, I take full advantage of like leaving the house with really nice hair.
Yeah. So what wig are you using right now? Are you using different ones or just one?
So I've been gifted a couple of synthetic wigs that I've been trying, and I usually get ones that are like down to here, and I got gifted like a little bob, which I really loved. But again, because it's synthetic, I'm too worried to leave the house in it. So I do just wear my Trendco ones because you don't have to glue them down or anything, and they're really comfy. I've just sent one off to the hairdressers, so I get roots put in, and so I get roots, and I'm putting like a toner on it so it's not as yellowy. And I've left that there for a week, and then I go and get it cut by my hairdresser as well. So that's quite cool. So my hair's being done at the minute, and I've had my wig at the minute for almost a year because of lockdown and everything. I just haven't brought a new one, so this is a new one. I'm really excited to get it. I can't wait.
Yeah, how exciting. And there's nothing better than your hair.
Hair days.
Yeah. So question, has this affected your relationships at all? And I mean like everything, like friendships, family, partner, like anything.
I don't think so. I think I've been really lucky. Like although I lost like my eyebrows in year 11 and then started wearing wigs at my first year at college, I never really got bullied or anything like that. And I know I've made like quite a lot of friends through Instagram with girls who have alopecia, and quite a lot of them have experienced like people being horrible to them. And it makes me realise that I'm really, really lucky. Like I've had a couple of like, it's mainly been guys to be fair, like shout wiggy out at me and stuff at the pub. But I've always had such a good friendship group that like people have stuck up for me, so I've never really found like that an issue. And then with boyfriends, my boyfriend that I'm with at the minute, like he knows I have alopecia. I never really wear my hair around him. Like he says that as soon as I put my hair on, I get attitude, and I'm much nicer when I'm bald. Whereas like my boyfriend,
because you look fabulous.
Yeah. My boyfriend before that, I didn't tell him I had alopecia for ages. I used to like sleep in my wig and everything. So I think you have to find the right person that just makes you feel comfortable. Like I can't, when I put my wig on, I that's just to leave the house. Like I couldn't just sit around and like relax in my wig, because as soon as it's on, I don't want to touch it because I don't want to mess it up. And, so yeah, I'm bald like quite a lot of the time.
That is so true.
They're really, really supportive about it. So yeah, I'm lucky really.
So okay, so since you feel comfortable by like sharing, like what do you tell people? Because I have my experience is that a lot of people feel like we're sick, right? And I don't want to be the sick girl. So like, how do you share with people what do you have and what alopecia is?
Well, I've had like a couple of incidents. Like I went to Orlando for my 21st with my mum and my brother, and I had a lot of people come up to me and ask when I was going through chemo and stuff. And like I'm one of them people where if I'm not ready for a question, I just won't speak. So I just would look at my mum and be like, and my mum would have to explain. Whereas like I had a delivery yesterday, and the postman, the Amazon man, came to the door and he said, "Can I have your ID?" And in my ID, I've got hair. And I gave it to him, and I was bald. And I said, "Oh, I had hair in that photo. Sorry, like it is me." And he went, "But your hair will grow back, won't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Are you not very well?" And I was just like, "I'm fine." Like I didn't know what to say because I hate being caught off guard. And it's horrible because there's obviously people out there that are really ill, and like that's horrible. And I don't want people to like, I should be lucky that it's just my hair and not my health. But when you tell people like, "Oh, it's not cancer, it's alopecia," they sort of look at you a bit like, "Oh, okay." Because I don't think as many people know about alopecia, obviously, as they do with cancer. So they just automatically presume it is that you're ill. But yeah, I'm not too great in them situations, if I'm honest. I'm usually with somebody when I'm bored, so I'll just look at them and be like, "Can you explain?"
The look says it all. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that you get to talk about it when you're ready, and if you're not ready, you're not ready, right? Like that's what I tell everyone is that if you find yourself in a situation that you don't want to share, you don't have to. Yeah. You don't owe anybody an explanation, right? So like for me, like when I started wearing hair, the hardest thing was to take a compliment. because people will say, oh, Val, your hair looks great. And it was so hard for me to just say thank you and leave it at that, and realize that I don't need to tell everybody, oh, I have alopecia and this is not my hair and I bought it and all this stuff. So now I just say thank you, because we don't need to go into it with every single person, right?
When it was Halloween last year, I wore a red wig to work, and I usually always have blonde hair. And we were in like a morning meeting, and this guy said to me, there was like 20 of us, and quite a lot of people know I have alopecia. He obviously didn't, and he said to me, "You're really committed to Halloween. Like, you've dyed your hair for the occasion." And 20 people started looking at me, and I was dressed up as like this dead zombie of red hair, and I could feel my face going so red. And I just went, yeah, I really love Halloween. And everybody else was like, we all know you're wearing a wig. But I was like sweating. I got out in the meeting, I was like, oh my God, it's awful. But loads of people, like, since I've been posting on Instagram, I've been to like the pub a couple of times, and where I live, it's quite small, so everybody knows everybody, and everyone just keeps coming up to me going like, you're doing so amazingly, like we all watch your Instagram and like we all think you're doing great, and like everyone's been really, really nice about it. So I think that's helped a lot with me leaving the house, because I think during lockdown I was like, well, I'm going to post pictures of me bald because people aren't going to see me for a good 3-4 weeks because we can't leave the house. And then I was getting so many messages from like people at school that I used to know, and like loads of people just saying such nice things. And then I just thought, well, everybody's being so nice about it, maybe I should just leave the house bald. So then I started leaving the house bald. So I think lockdown did me the world of good, really.
Oh my God. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. I think honestly that the feeling of freedom is the best thing ever. Like knowing that you don't have to pretend, knowing that you don't have to hide, knowing that everybody knows who you are and you get to be who you are, and that's it. It's just the best. So what prompted you to open the account?
It was around Easter. I didn't really have much to do, and I have a blog, but I haven't been too great on it recently because I've been trying to do Instagram more. But I started writing a blog about my alopecia, but I'd never posted any photos. And then I just thought, why not? And I posted one photo, and then it hit off. Everybody was just commenting, liking, and messaging me about it. And then I just thought, why not, really? Why not?
Yeah, go big or go home.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so I know since then you also have had a couple of collaborations, right? Like a video, some like YouTube series. Tell us a little bit about that.
So there's quite a big community on Instagram with alopecia ladies and a couple of guys. And there's this one lady called Danny, and she invited me to do the, what's the song called?
Don't rush.
Don't rush, yeah. So we all had a glass of wine, we were bald, and then we put the wine in. When we take it away, we've got hair and makeup on. So that was my first one. And then she also did a alopecia series where we all explained, like there was 4 different videos, and we explained what alopecia we had, we gave advice, what our pros and cons were, and we put that out on Instagram. And then Jessica's got a song called Thursday, and it's about like being beautiful, not wearing any makeup. So we've all got a video of us taking our makeup and our wigs off to show that you're beautiful without all of that as well.
I saw that one. That one made me cry. Yeah, I mean, I've seen all of them, but the last one is like, oh my God.
I find it really hard to watch them. Like, I don't mind being in it, but I find it, because it's not so much my story, it's everybody else's story.
Right. No, really. For me, same thing. Yeah.
But we've got like a WhatsApp group now with all of us, and it's really nice. It's nice to like, especially younger girls, I think, because there was nothing like this when I was going for it. And I think if I started this back then, like it would have been amazing. I really wish I did. And like I wish I took pictures through the stages, because I didn't take any photos. Like I didn't want to be anything. Whereas a lot of girls now take like photos, and I think it's really good to see people's photos because you know what to expect. It wouldn't be such a shock. But I didn't take any photos, unfortunately. But I just think although social media can be bad for like trolls and stuff, I think for some reasons, for some for some things like alopecia, I think it just really helps people a lot.
Oh my God, it makes such a difference. I so wish that this was around on my time, right? Like I went all through college without it, right? I was alone, thinking that I was alone, that I was the weird one. And like you said it, there was no pictures. I have no pictures. I maybe I have like 3 pictures of
I don't
that
know.
because I didn't want to take them. And if I took them, then I put them in like files that I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so healing to see it, to share it, to and experience it with other people, right? So you don't feel like you're doing this alone.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of like tips on makeup and stuff that I would have never thought of, or like different wigs that you can try and people review them. I think that's really good as well, because there's so much money. It's nice to sort of see an actual real person review it instead of what they might have written on their website or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Instagram's smashing it with the alopecia.
Yes, I love it. And I think during quarantine, the community is just getting bigger. I
Yeah,
think a lot of people are having the same thoughts you had, and I also experiencing like, well, this might be the time to
yeah.
do this, and I love it.
When everything goes back to normal, like we all want to meet up, and I just think it would be really
Yeah.
nice. So yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait too. I've met, honestly, probably like 5 local women during this time, and we're all
Yeah.
talking like, oh my God, when do we get to meet? And it's so cool because I've never met anyone like in person, right?
Yeah.
Like all my work and everything all has been online. So
I
yeah, it's
think I've met
incredible.
2 ladies in real life. I went to the pub one night and before lockdown, and there was this girl in there completely bald at night time, like in a really busy pub. And I was like to my boyfriend, I was like, oh my God, like I think that girl has alopecia. And I was like, I really want to go talk to her. And he was like, go and talk to her. I was like, I can't. And then we had like a bottle of wine or two. And I was like, I'm going to go and talk to her. So I went up to her and I was like, I hope you don't mind me asking. I was like, but do you have alopecia? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I think you're absolutely amazing for coming to the pub bald. At the time, it was something I'd never even thought of doing. And I was like, she was like, do you have alopecia? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh my God. We added each other on Facebook. And like, I see her walking around town all the time bald. And for Alopecia UK, she's actually doing a challenge where she wears wigs because she never usually wears wigs. So she's doing a challenge where she wears lots of different wigs, whereas I'm doing the challenge where I'm trying not to wear wigs. So I just think it's amazing that somebody like doesn't wear wigs all the time. Like I'd find that really, really difficult. And I just thought she smashed it. She looked amazing.
So tell us about a little bit about the Alopecia UK thing, because I know you just told us specifically. So I know you're going outside to take 15 pictures.
Yeah, so it's Alopecia UK's 15th birthday. So they've reached out to a couple of us and asked if we wanted to do some fundraising. So I said yes, and the theme is obviously 15 because it's 15 years. So they asked us to raise £150, post 15 like posts or stories about alopecia, and do a challenge that involves the number 15. So I've decided to go to 15 public places, completely bald. So I've already done a couple, and I've raised £990 so far.
Yay! And you have the entire month?
Pardon?
You have the whole month of September?
Yeah. So I've already been to the zoo, the beach. I've been swimming. I've been to the post office, and I've been walking around bald in my local place because I was going to go to like places that everybody would know, but where I live there isn't really that many because I'm quite far from London. So I thought I'd just do like things I do every day, so still living my life just without hair. So I went to the co-op board and took a picture of me with a trolley board, and like I'm trying to do things that I do in my normal life just without my wig. I've still got quite a lot to go. I've got 2 weeks, so I'm kind of getting a bit nervous about it. I've got a lot of places, so I've dedicated this weekend to no hair and leaving the house and taking lots of pictures.
Where are you going? What are your
And
plans?
I'm going to go into town. There's like a big castle park that I'm going to take a picture of. Going to go for lunch, go for dinner, Yeah, go to as many places as I can really, but just with no hair on.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna have a link. Does the link go to donate money, or does it go to your pictures?
So the link goes to my GoFundMe page, which is how you can donate money. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. So if you want to support Jessica on this, you know where to go. The link is gonna be here on her page. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see all the photos. I've seen a couple and they look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jessica. This has been so fun.
Thank you.
I would love to have you again. And I want to ask everybody to go check out the videos, the YouTube series, you know, definitely your page for Alopecia UK. Check out all the things because they're super fun and educational. And it just like, they're so moving. Honestly, those videos are, love them, love them. All right, Jessica, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in the next interview. Bye.
Bye.